Well, hello. I think it is time for a layout share. I have all of these layouts and they're filling my bin so high I can't put any more in without risking bending some. So I thought I would do a layout share. So I took all of them out of the page protectors. There goes my light. And I was surprised that I actually had a few of double page because I haven't been doing those recently, but I really like these. So this is with the old Hope and Kindness papers, and I did some die cuts and layered the flowers. These are punch. Cut out my title with the Cricut. This is actually a background, and it's in here as well. It's a die cut for like the front of a card. So I really like how that turned out. And then this next double page, I'm going to do all the double page layouts first. I believe was a challenge for the 31 days of sketches. Let me see if I have that. Nope, this was in September. I did that. So this was just me working on it. And then you can see here that I did some flip flaps so that I could tell more of the story on these photos. And we got the green golf cart in there and the white golf cart in there. And these are just fun times that we have at my mom's house. Well, she used to have a summer place. So there's that one. And then this one, if I showed this to you before, I apologize. I think it's a new layout, but this was one that I did. I haven't printed our photos from 2020 or 2021. I haven't printed all the photos from 2013 yet. I'm a little behind, but I still have plenty of photos to scrap. But this was just, I made these cards on the Cricut. And then these were from the Got Candy stamp set from Close to My Heart, and they're just waiting for photos. And then this was for, I'm sure, the 30 days of sketches, because I did 2 different kind of companion pages. And again, with flip flaps. And this is just talking about our first Christmas together. And these can go like this in the book. I actually think I might like that just because I can see more of this. And this tree kind of helps bring you into the layout this way. These are dies from the old Close to My Heart snowflake die. So this is all of the double layouts that I've done recently. So now let's go into our single layouts. I'll bring these here in the center. And I can't remember the name of this paper, but I loved it. Oh, Backyard Bliss. And so just used a bunch of stickers. I used some of the vellum flowers from a while ago on my title here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's thicker because I learned from Jessica, the paper heart, Jessica Dipsinski on the paper heart, to go ahead and glue your cardstock together first before you cut it out, and then you get those connections perfectly. So there's that layout. I am kind of new. I call myself new to mixed media, and I love how this turned out. I did some watercolor technique after I gessoed, so this white is all white gesso. And then this is a stencil, and this is a stencil, and this is a stencil, but I watered it down as I inked over it. And so it made it kind of, to me, look like a snakeskin. And then this is a Cricut cut from Everyday Life, I believe, Cricut collection. And I love how this one turned out. Here's another one of me, junior year of high school. Just a pretty little layout. I did some of the thread bundles. Just had a lot of fun with it. I love just the little touch of silver. Not so that it's over gaudy. I know some people just really like sparkles and glitter. I'm not that girl. But just a little touch is fun. And then I used from the Info Bloom thin cut set, and that was from last spring, these photo negative holders, I guess you would call them. And I just did this is stenciling back here, and I just did some more mixed media and used the stickers from that summertime collection. And you can see here that I went ahead and cut the back out. Now this again was Backyard Bliss, and I fussy cut around the bottom of the paper because it was from the workshop for the scrapbook pages, and I didn't do it the way they said. I did my own thing, and I just really like how this turned out. This was a Makers with Heart project. Kim, maybe, had sent us these, or maybe it was Dawn that sent us these pieces. And so I added the paper that I wanted and followed the prompts, and this is what I came out with. That was the mystery envelope. And then here is another one for the crisp air. And I just thought this really highlighted what we were doing that day. This layout came together so quickly. I loved it. Again, just playing with mixed media. Here you can see they kind of got muddied watered because they connected. And that's okay. I'm learning. And then with, again, Jessica from the Paper Heart, she stitches on her layouts. And this layout needed something, so I went ahead and did that. Added my little lace here for the sides. And again, I'm really liking the mixed media, and I'm enjoying playing with it. So if you've been watching my channel at all, you know that I've been doing these heritage photos, and my grandfather has just amazing writing. So this tag, I copied the back of the photo, and this is his writing, and I just printed it and put it on a tag. So now that is saved here too. And again, stencils, this is gesso with a stencil underneath it, so I just had fun with that. I did an album for my mom last March for the 30 Days of Sketches, and this is blue and greens were the colors kind of as the thread for that, along with the scalloped die cut. So I continued along with that theme, and then I'll just add this page to her album that she received for Mother's Day. And these are from Some Assemblage Required, and everything else is close to my heart. And I believe this was again for a 30 Days of Sketches. Just had to document that we rescued this dog, but she fell in love with my dad. And anytime my dad came over, she was just right by his side. And this is kind of the epitome of my husband. He doesn't feel like he takes good photos, and he doesn't. We very rarely capture him in a good photogenic kind of frame, and so he was making a funny face, and then as he was laughing at himself, it came out really good. And I ripped the background papers here and added that plaid underneath, did another touch of plaid there, so I kind of have the points of plaid bringing you into the photos. This is a stamp. I used another stamp for background texture. So I encourage you to go look at your stamps and see what you have that can really update or renew your pages. Now this is with the Freshly Baked stamp set. It's a recipe card thing, and I'm using it as background noise and also as some journaling lines. So I had a lot of fun with that. And I had made, the story of this was I had made some food for a scrapbook weekend that I host, or that I used to host, and our son had a dairy allergy, and so he always got his own little iteration. So a crustless quiche without any cream or cheese, and then an apple pie, again without any butter in it. And this is another layout of my great-grandmother in her nurse's uniform, and then she has a cake here, and this is when she's older. There is a photo in the stash of photos of me and her in the same room for a Christmas, and then she passed away shortly after, so I do know that I got to meet her, but I was a baby. This again is a page about my great-grandmother. There was 2 photos of her nurse's uniform, and they're slightly different, and I didn't want to lose either one of them, so I went ahead and encapsulated that, or captured that, with a flip flap. More photos of my grandparents and my aunt. I've been talking to both my mom and my aunt about their memories of their parents and grandparents and life growing up, and my aunt just talked about how they spent a lot of time in the car, so I did some mirror image stamping and got these cars on there representing going back and forth to Clarksburg, West Virginia. This is my mom with her grandparents, and again, my mom a little older with her grandparents, and then this is my aunt, my mom, my granddad, and my great-grandmother, and that's not his mom. She is the mother of their mom, so she's the mother of my grandmother. Did some stitching, which I really just thought I needed something to to bring your eye around the page, and that worked out for me. And this is a aspen paper from a long time ago. A friend of mine found this pack of aspen paper, and I knew I had some, so we challenged ourselves in November to use it all up. I am not going to be able to use it all up in November. I do have a couple projects that are gonna flow into December, but I think before Christmas I should have it all used up. And so this is just recording the names of the ladies that came to our house, and we would play cards, and they helped celebrate my birthday with me. And this layout is my husband went to Hong Kong. He practically lived there for 2.5 years working on a project. And every once in a while they would go out for a meal with the ops, just as kind of a team building and a way to say thank you for all your hard work. So here I use the Simple Leaves die cut. And also from the Sweet as Honey, I cut again in that gold. I like just what those little hints add to a page, and so I did some of the center of the honeycomb more as you would a bling. This layout is one of my favorites. This paper just sings to me. I see it and go, wow, I need to do something more with it. So I'm really glad that it's in the core book, and I have several more months that I can order some. But I had these leaves in my embellishment stash, as well as these brown twigs. These were also in there. So I just kind of pulled together this layout and just kept piling. The snowflakes were already cut. I did do the gold snowflakes from the old Close to My Heart snowflake die. But I love how this, and notice that it's not a full frame. It's just kind of a corner to bring your eye in. And I did that same corner thing again. This time it's going this way. I cut the apron on the Cricut, and Kim had sent us these pieces in this green. And then on the back side of that green is the wood. So I cut a couple wooden spoons. And we ordered a new printer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to print my apple pie dough recipe and pie filling recipe, and then the tips are on here and in the scrapbook page. So in the future, if people want my pie recipe, they can just grab a card right out of the scrapbook. And here is a fun little layout that I did with Christmas stories, I think it is, or Christmas memories. I don't remember the name of the paper. Again, I used a punch to get these little edges and glimpses of gold, because I needed something to tie in with the title that came from the sticker sheet. And this just documents some of the activities we do in Advent around our home. And here is my father-in-law on our farm. It was his farm, and my husband grew up on it. And we had family come to visit. This is early days of us being on the farm, so we hadn't quite cleaned up everything and gotten, like, all of this was all cleared out. You could actually park a tractor there. It was really kind of nice. And then if I've shown you this layout, I apologize. This is another layout for my mom's book. It's not in the blue and greens. It's going to go with the more their family album, but it's her first day of school, obviously, in 1949. And then one more layout. This is from it's like a calendar kit, and you get 13 pages that you can do as a calendar for calendar pages, or I just did it as a single scrapbook. Again, this is how my granddad wrote on the back of this photo. So I needed to record that and the photo itself, and it just talks about where they lived in an apartment in New Jersey. So thank you for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do that now. Hope you have a great day. Blessings.